So, do a last little follow-up video now. I couldn't video a lot of putting the engine back in. It's just too awkward, and there was a lot of things that were different. So I'll go through the different parts. Yeah, engine mounts. There's one part that's different. You see an engine mount that's on these, they're a lot shorter. Well, you can't compare it with that, but it's similar to this, where you have a long, so the engine was tilted on its side, and it obviously wasn't right. Drive shafts are in the wrong spot, everything was wrong. So to change these over, there's quite a few things. I'll let you hear it run. Do a cold start on it. Let the glow plug go out. As you can hear, it's a lot quieter, not banging or rattling like the other engine. Took a piston out of this one. There's no need for feeler blades. You see the gap in the rings? It's monstrous. And they're even thinner in certain spots. So they're absolutely wasted on. That ring just falls into the board. There's no spring on it at all. So, DED, dead. So a lot of parts that are still good. Absolutely no smoke. So that engine worked out really well. We had an awful nightmare with fuel pumps. That's the original fuel pump off it. It leaked from that shaft. See, there's rock in that. There we go. So center of this pops up. You take the lid off. We had 3 pumps. I ended up going through 3 pumps. So there's the shaft that goes up through the middle, and he's a little bit worn, but what I ended up doing was change this O-ring, put a different O-ring on it, and it stopped it leaking, because he goes up through this brass bushing, and that's clearly worn. So I'll probably get 1 or 2 of these pumps done and have them sitting on the shelf waiting ready for the next customer. But yeah, there's very little. See, the newer engine has the pump on the other side, and it hasn't got these belts. This is V belts, and it has 2 belts on it. So when you're changing them over, you have to change the power steering pipes, brackets. The alternator is different. This also has a solid flywheel, the old model, pre-95. That clutch was worn. I showed you that in the last video. There's what comes with this, with the dual mass flywheel. It's a solid. The spring is in the flywheel. What else different was there? Yeah, the pipes were different. Some of these water pipes, it comes out ahead in a different spot. A few little things were different on it, but all in all, she is running really well. And yeah, we had an oil leak. I had to change the crankshaft oil seal. It was actually dry on the original engine, and put a new This is a new pipe, new to the van. A friend of mine, he has 22 transporters, so plenty of parts to go by. I used the original injectors out of the old engine because he had them reconditioned, and there's 5 new glow plugs as well, so that's all cushy. New power steering oil, new coolant in it now. It's just keeping to the level. A little bit of a weep from one pipe, but it's just that it's not squeezing tight enough on it or whatever, but it will seal itself. So all in all, pretty happy with this van. It's incredibly straight. It looked a bit dirty when he brought it to me first, but he's after waxing it. He has to give it another go tomorrow now, give it another bit of a polish, bit of a machine polish. See, he's been at it here. But yeah, this fan's going to come up really, really clean. And it drives so nice. It's no rattles, no knocks, no bangs, no nothing. Everything is pretty good. You know, this is the old style pre-95. They have a bonnet stay, which you just lift up and drop. They have the round filter here. That's the other thing you'd notice. What else did you notice? That's completely different. The belts, but now this has a single belt. If you can see it there, one tensioner, single belt. And she's very dry underneath. Looks a bit wet there now, but that was from the leak earlier. But now she's very, very dry. She was wringing wet in there. It actually covered the wheel with oil. So we'll have to wash all that off. Get rid of the oil off the rubbers. But yeah, she's nice and neat and tidy now. Newer alternator on it, and yeah, most of this stuff will be going for scrap. I'll keep this because a friend of mine has a 95 transporter, 2.4, and these are a damp pulley, so it will eventually go on that. And her alternator, or her power steering pump, is noisy. It's whining away, and I've tried changing oil in it and stuff, but this one doesn't whine, so I'll be putting that on hers, I think, at some stage. Well, I'll leave it there for anyway. So yeah, so alternator obviously is different pulley, different system altogether. Your water jacket out ahead, that's the one that's on this, but it's pointing the wrong way, so the alternator gets in the way with this one. If I try and put this one on, the original one. Exhaust clamps, I found a really good way of doing them. I literally put them in the vise here, like so. I think it was that way, and turn the vise the opposite way and open it up, and then put in a wedge of steel. This is not the right wedge for this one, but I couldn't use these anyway because someone has welded nuts to it, and you can see it's bent. The tension has gone out of it, so it's got no good anymore. But it was quite easy once I done that. Once I put them in the vise and opened them up, that worked okay. So anyway, I just leave it at that now for tonight's video. Just thought I'd show you the ins and outs. So basically, once you change your engine mounts and you have all your auxiliary belts and all that kind of stuff, you need the power steering pipes, engine mounts for the older model to go back on this, because the exhaust won't line up if you use the new ones. We've tried that and it didn't work. The exhaust is a certain shape to go over the steering rack. So yeah, so customer's pretty happy. He'll be going up. I left that alone. That was fine. It's changing gears okay. It's just a rubber bushing that's missing off the end of the shaft, and everything else is cool. Very, very happy with it now. We've done about 200 miles up and down, and she is going pretty well.